Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Francesca. I am a 7 Cups of Consciousness practitioner as well as a shamanic sound healer. And my channel is all about love, dating, relationships. I like to look at all the different layers and pieces around relationship and love. And I like to take the complex and break it down into bite-sized layers and nuggets to share. I share tips, techniques, my insights from an energetic perspective. So today I'm going to speak about a very common question that comes up quite often in sessions, and sometimes it's why clients reach out to me. And that is how to get back an ex. So just a little background about me. I think that I have had exes come back 3 times, roundabout. In fact, I used to say to my friends, I'd be like, I'm not going to worry about it. He'll be back. They always come back. Now, well, that's not always true. And yes, it is possible for an ex to re-enter your life. It's not always guaranteed. So the first thing that I do with a client when this is their particular question. So I always ask, what's one piece you want to look at? And I also invite them to crank up the courage dial, because in order to get to the root of this question, you have to be so honest with yourself and where you are and what's going on. So many times it's that the client is just experiencing loneliness. And so it's this loneliness. They don't want to start over. They invested 2-3 years with this person. So it's really digging in to see, okay, is it really that you want the person back, or is it that you're really after the connection and the commitment? And so that's kind of the first thing that we'll dive into, the first layer. And then another layer that I will start looking at is to see if there's still some type of karmic tie to it. So for example, when a relationship that I had, it was like 3 years, then I really wanted him back. And I'm embarrassed to say, I probably spent a lot of time, energy thinking about him for a year. And then, did some work around it, worked with some, energetic mentors, and it was a karmic contract. And so once that piece was cleared, that desire to have that person back in my life eventually went away. And so that's a layer then that I will look at, like, is there still some type of tie? Is there some type of, fragments that need to be returned? Do we need to activate, the spiritual lesson here so that it is clear for you to move on and embrace a newer, healthier relationship? Because most relationships that have some type of karmic layer to them can be discordant, and there's a specific challenge or pattern that is coming to your awareness. And then once that's in your awareness, the relationship ends, and then you can just work on that challenge and you no longer need that person. Because remember, the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. So some 3D things and practices then that I give clients to work with. So like I said, is it that you're lonely? So the cure, the flip, the reverse is that you want connection. Okay. So we're going to lift all of our reference points for connection off of the outer world, off of everyone, everything, bring them back, clean, clear. And then you're going to pull yourself deep in your divine line, and you're going to amp up that connection, because what you're really after is connecting with yourself and that beautiful divine line, that essence of you that flows up and down the front of your spine. And you're just going to crank it up, amp it up. Just crank it up, right? And the more you connect in with yourself, then the outer world reflects that. Same thing with commitment. Any vibration that you are after, the more you amplify it and you reference it in your divine line, the more the outer world is going to reflect that. And so, once speaking about this one specific relationship that was karmic and got really energetically ugly, it was quite painful. Once all that cleared and he did show back up, I wasn't interested. I didn't want to talk to him. I had no desire at all to engage. And I never responded to any of his attempts to connect with me, because once that karmic piece was cleared, it's like the blinders were taken off. And I was like, oh, no, I'm good. No, thanks. Blessings for the lessons and, for showing me, a pattern and for helping me in my growth, but you're no longer necessary. And that decision felt good to me. And I can't imagine any other way. And so when these things come up, once again, I'm always going to look at things as, okay, what's the opportunity? So if you're feeling lonely, it's the opportunity to connect more, crank up more joy, more of this, whatever it is that you want more of, that's what you want to focus on. And so if an ex does come back, it's not going to happen until they are so far, like you don't even think about them anymore. You're not attached. You don't even think about it. You're living your best life. You're moving in and shaking. You're doing what you need to do. If they're going to come back, that's when they come back. Another kind of like 3D thing to help in the process of the letting go is if this person pops into your mind, you start thinking about them. Once again, we are reworking things. We're trying to be unattached. And yes, it may be a nice memory. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that. But you don't want to then go down a rabbit hole of then almost idealizing the relationship. It can lead you down a path where then you start really thinking about them and concentrating about them. And so we don't want to do that. We're like, oh, acknowledge a memory. Oh, that was a nice memory, whatever. So a couple things you could do. You can just be like, oh, you know what? I'll think more about you later. And then you can just imagine almost like a balloon and just releasing the balloon. Just like, I'll think about you later. If those thoughts continue to be pervasive, take a deep breath in and then just focus on your immediate surroundings and your senses. If it's nice out, go sit outside, go sit in the grass. How does the grass feel? How does the sun feel? Look at the leaves. Oh, look at the, either how green they are, depending on the time of year, the different colors, whatever. If you have a pet, oh, pet your dog, so sweet, pet your cat, whatever it is. But then take the focus and then focus on something that you can control. And eventually, over time, these memories, these thoughts will become less and less. So I hope you found these insights supportive and that they served you in some way. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe. And until next time, more love vibes to come. Ciao.